Hello, and welcome back to A Brick Too Short. For this video, I will be discussing set number 6706, Frontier Patrol, which came out in 1997, and the cost was $6. With that, let's take a closer look. So first, let's take a look at the commander of this little Old West U.S. cavalry unit. Now his hat actually has the proper Cross Sabers insignia. Sorry about the light glare. His face, I'm not real sure we ever saw this printing in many other sets, if at all, that weren't Old West. But he definitely has kind of that Western officer's look, and I like it. Now, I'm a trained historian, and so I've noticed a few things as I got older about the uniforms that aren't exactly accurate. Though you could argue that the officer was just decorating his outfit however he wanted to. But of course, it's Lego. It's not supposed to be accurate. Now you see these little gold stripes on each shoulder. Those are actually called shoulder boards, and where his insignia for rank is supposed to go. But if you look at his collar, there's little stars, which show a general, but the stars should actually be on the shoulder boards. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but that's okay. It's Lego, and it's fun. And then his jacket's good enough. A double set of buttons for, I'm going to say he's probably, it shows general, but to me he was a colonel because there's not a huge unit. Actually, he'd probably be a sergeant with 3 men. But anyways, besides the point. And then he has a U.S. belt buckle, and this was a really cool figure. Oh, and then also his hands are white. He's supposed to be probably wearing gloves or gauntlets. And here's the next figure. Blue hat, no insignia, but that's absolutely fine. I don't think you want insignia on every one of your troopers. His face, we've seen this in Pirates at least, and probably other lines. He definitely needs to shave. His white bandana, which I'll actually look at that just a little more in a moment. Now, like the commander, he actually has shoulder boards. But he's only got one set of buttons, and it's off to the side. And he's got a U.S. belt buckle. The buttons should probably be down the center. And really, we get 2 officers in this one little 3-man unit. I always play like this was just another regular trooper and not an officer. But again, the shoulder boards are there. And as far as the bandana, what's really cool. Now, you wouldn't actually be doing this with the cavalrymen. Well, I mean, actually, if they're supposed to be going through dust or something, you would. But in other sets, with your bandits, you can turn the bandana around. Or again, cavalrymen, lots of dust, riding the plains or the desert. Perfect. And so that was actually really one of the cool things about the Western sets were the bandanas. And here's the third trooper. And his hat is called a kepi. It was a military-style hat. Actually goes back at least to the French. His face, we've seen that in a lot of other lines, especially Pirate. He's got a bandana on, just like the second figure we looked at. And then his outfit is actually, it looks like he's wearing probably a shirt. Maybe it's supposed to be a jacket, but I don't think so, because the suspenders would actually be underneath the jacket and over the shirt. So I always play like he wasn't wearing his full uniform. And then, of course, he has a nice U.S. belt buckle. So it's a pretty good figure. Forgive me if the video is shaking a little bit. I'm actually going to hold it for this because I'm just going to look at the accessories individually. Here we have a gold bugle. But if you notice, as it's gotten older, kind of has the same problem the old lightsaber hilts had where the paint rubs off. But that's okay. I mean, it's 23 years old. Just a generic looking cavalry flag, nothing historical. 2 rifles, revolver, saber, and then a stick of dynamite in brick form. This is before they actually made the kind of 3-dimensional dynamite. But these were the main accessories that you got for the figures. And here, of course, is a plank you got, which if you've noticed over the years, a lot of these have broken on me, especially as you throw them into a box filled with other Legos. You get weighted down, grabbed, thrown aside. But I still have it, and I'm pretty sure this is the original one to this set. And then, of course, here we have the commanding officer's horse, which is just a good old classic black horse with a brown saddle. Go ahead and turn around. I mean, it's the same thing, but there you have it. There's the horse. And of course, nowadays with the Star Wars sets, we're used to getting a lot of battle packs. And so I guess you could say this was the Old West battle pack. I mean, the Pirates even had battle packs that came with, Imperials or Spanish and pirate crews. Now, a few issues with this battle pack, though, is if you had really been into making a cavalry larger group and you bought a number of these, you'd end up with a whole bunch of this officer. This guy, again, he's got shoulder boards, but I always usually just played like he was just a regular trooper in the line. And then, of course, he works perfect. But you would have a number of repeats. The uniforms, for the most part, I mean, hey, they're great. Lego, movie-style, Western cavalry outfits. There really isn't a whole lot of issue. And I guess the one guy could be a general, since he does have stars. I love his hat, though, with the correct cavalry insignia. That actually looks really good. And then the bugle, you can actually hold it up to a Lego guy's mouth like he's playing the bugle. I'm not really sure what you need to stick a dynamite for. There's only 3 of y'all, and you're not really doing much. But again, this was a fun little set. I really wanted it so bad as a kid, and I got it. And I mean, I've enjoyed it over the years, especially as I built armies. But looking back now, there was a lot more they could have done with this little set. One more horse would have even been nice, because they are supposed to be cavalry, and only your commander has a horse, which U.S. cavalrymen did dismount to fight, especially during the American Civil War. But out here, they're supposed to probably kind of be on the plains, desert. It's a patrol as well. I mean, that's actually what it's called, Frontier Patrol. One more horse would have been nice. And so with that, that is Frontier Patrol from 1997.